And welcome. We're going to try this one more time. This is the Out of Context podcast. Happy belated Thanksgiving to everyone. This is November 27th in the year of our something 2023. I'm your host, Walker AC. And to you, my friends, no, that's my other show. This is Walker AC coming to you live. And with me today is my co-host, my friend, my padre, my confidant, the one I really can't hug because she'll hit me really hard in the balls. Ashley Majestic. Ash Majestics. Hi, how are you?
I'm thriving. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well so far. I'm still stuffed from Thanksgiving, and it feels like it's been a long time since we recorded last. But we're back again, so how have you been these days?
I've been. I didn't really do anything for Thanksgiving. I never do anything for Thanksgiving. So mine was just peaceful. I kind of took a long nap that day, and that's about it.
Well, see, naps are always good for people our age because I will choose nap over anything. Speaking of naps, our other special guest, the person that needs no naps, the person that is always with us, the person that has a cat that will always make Ash Majestics cry and smile very deeply. Dakota, welcome back, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Happy to be back again.
Definitely a pleasure to have you back. How's your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was great. I spent it with Chloe, who I don't think has been on the podcast yet, but you never know what the future holds.
Well, definitely going to fix that. As this show grows, we're going to have more people and talk about more things and just expand this show because we are expanding just like my waistline. We're expanding very wide and deep, folks, but coming up soon... We have some special things coming up. Really can't talk about it now because if I do, it's going to spoil it if it doesn't happen. So just stay tuned, ladies and gents. Some good things are going to happen. But before we go any further, we're going to talk about a couple of things because last episode we did the conspiracy theories, which was a tremendous hit. And I thank you two for that. I just kind of stood back and listened. But I'll have a topic, and then we'll kind of bounce it back to everybody else here. So it was Thanksgiving. Some of us celebrated, some of us didn't. And of course, for Thanksgiving, it's all about thanks and appreciation and all the fun stuff that these young kids do with their fancy iPods. And no, Ash Majestics, I'm not going to go through of what are you thankful for? No, we're not going to do that.
Okay. I was saying, man, I gotta go.
No, we're not going to do that. I'm actually going to kind of go the opposite way because this show is really sarcastic. So we don't talk about love and sappy stuff here. No, we don't do that. We talk about dick and fart jokes. That's how we roll. So, I'll bounce it to Dakota first. So, my question to you is, if you walked away from somebody, if somebody's done you wrong, and you walked away from them, being an adult, you kept living your life, do you ever think it's a good time to go back and forgive that person and be friends with them again?
I did that once, and I lived to regret it.
Now, do you think it was just that one instant, or do you think once you're done, you're done?
I think this was a very specific instance of that because of the person that it was involved with and his mindset towards it. I'm not sure why he tried to reconnect if all he was going to do was try and bash me, but I feel like it's very specific from person to person if you choose to reinvest in a relationship, especially a friendship that you may have had in the past.
Okay, so I'll ask two questions because you made mention about friendship. So if it's a best friend, that's one instant. Or if it's an ex, what about that instant? Because obviously, as time goes on, we all grow as people. Well, at least most of us grow as people. We evolve. Things change. Life changes. And surprisingly enough, we as humans, we forget that we have the power to change our minds. Everybody forgets that. Because think about it. Hate is a strong word. And in our teens and growing up, we're like, oh, I hate this game. I hate this person. I hate this. And as we get older, it's less about hate, more just more of indifference. I don't care about this person. They go their way. I go my way. It is what it is. But in saying that, and once again, it's a two-parter. So do you think at your age now that if you bumped into somebody who's wronged you, not, killed your cat or anything of the sort, but just, personally wronged you, would you be able to forgive them, be the quote unquote adult in the room and kind of embrace them back? We'll start on the friendship level.
I have done that on some levels. There were some people that I went to school with actually who we had our differences at the time, but now that we're both older and we look past it and look back and laugh on those things, we've grown as friends, and it's honestly refreshing to have some people who can not look back on the past and view it as the only thing in the universe, who can look forward and actually, wanna grow off of something.
Okay. So now let's go to the other side of the spectrum. You're in a relationship and things went south. Now, it's not amicable. It's not civil. It was ugly, downright nasty. You two went your separate ways, and 5 years down the road, you bump into to that person. Do you interact with them? Hey, how are you doing? Let's have coffee, stuff like that. Or just continue about your merry way, even if they approach you?
That's another interesting one. And I think I've told the story before about my ex from New Hampshire. If not, I will tell it after the podcast. And this happened at work, so I had no choice but to be civil. I could not. Had this happened in the street, would have gone a completely different way. But I had to be civil because I was at work, and had I not been at work, the conversation and the exchange would have gone very differently.
Okay. So pretty much the exchange was keep it moving, in other words.
Yeah, hi, how are you? How are your kids? Is everything going okay? All right, do you need help finding anything? Okay, have a good day.
Okay. Kind of interested in that. See, there's a method to my madness. There is a method to my madness. Ash Majestics, Ashford, what about you? We'll start with the friendship part first.
Okay. Go ahead and re-ask me the question. I know, I want you to, tell me, ask me, because I know the context of it, but I need you to just ask me the question.
Okay. Friendship-wise, a friend has done you wrong. Not necessarily anything too deeply personal, not attacking a family member or anything of the sort. Just someone who's personally wronged you and really affected you temporarily. You see them again 5 years down the road, and they interact with you. Do you keep moving, or do you stop, and do you acquiesce and have a conversation with them and try to pick up the friendship, or just move on?
So it really all depends. I know you said they didn't rob me by family and relationships and stuff. It's just personally just towards me. It's still, at the end of the day, is on what level, how bad personally it was. Give me well, I guess I can't ask you to give me an example. So, but it really does go to what level, because there's the level where you have there's myself, and then I have a couple of friends where we've had our arguments, where we've had our issues. Becky's a prime example, because her and I have talked a little bit about stuff here and there, and we've reconnected because we've talked. We were adults about it. So let's say it's with someone that isn't a best friend of mine. I basically would kind of weigh in on the relationship with them. Is it worth it? Is it something I can let go? I am the type of person that I will at least try to talk it out. If that person doesn't want to hear it, it is what it is. So it's been 5 years down the road, and I see them. I just do is I guess it depends on where we are. Either I'm gonna pretend I don't see them just because I don't want to deal with it, or B, I can be polite, hey, how's it been? And it's just reading the situation.
Okay, so now once again we hop over to the other spectrum, to relationship-wise. Once again, like I posed a question to Dakota, it wasn't civil, it wasn't amicable, it was a fairly nasty split. Just words were said, and you two went your separate ways. 5 years down the road, you're walking through a mall, and you see said person, and they approach you to make conversation. Do you interact or do you just keep walking?
Oh, I was straight up just say nope and keep going. And fun fact, I have been in that situation a couple times before. I just say nope, keep going.
Okay.
No thanks. Like even if they follow me, it's like, oh, but nope, we're good. Good.
All right. So I'll do one for me, and then I'll kind of loop it around in a circle. Friendship wise, if you asked me years ago if someone's done me wrong, I would instantly just cut them off at the feet and just be done with it. And I will hold on to that grudge for many, many years because, once I was younger. Same thing with personal relationships because I took it personal. You affected me, you hurt me, so now I'm going to hurt you, and, pox on your firstborn kind of thing. So now as I get older, if I ran into an old friend who done me wrong, yes, I would kind of, give a gentle nod of the head and acknowledge that person because they said hi to me. If it's relationship-wise, would I still interact? I would once again probably acquiesce and just give a head nod. As far as rekindling, probably not. Because once again, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because you knew why it ended the first time, but as time goes on, as we get older and wiser, obviously things change. And we have that power of the change your mind kind of setting. So I say that to say this, and I'll start with Dakota. When does forgiveness start? And does it ever start for people who have wronged you?
I'd have to say forgiveness for me starts at kind of like an outreach. Like either I reach out to them or they reach out to me and we just start talking. And if they don't want to talk, then that's typically the end of it. But if they do talk, then we discuss what each of us believes we did wrong, and then kind of find a way to either form a solution or just move beyond it. But if we can't, if we're still like, yeah, it's not going to work, then we part ways amicably, and that's the end of it. At least That's another big thing about it too, is having the closure of, because there's always that, like you said, we're humans, we forget, but we also, some things we don't forget, so we're constantly left with that what if factor, like, what if it could have worked out, what if we could have been friends again, and it's refreshing sometimes to get that answer.
Okay. And now as far as relationship goes, do you think that forgiveness level will ever be there? Now, of course, you could go to the extreme and said, person A cheated on person B, or person A struck person B, whether it be violence, mental abuse, stuff like that. Would you ever think that forgiveness factor would ever kick in? Or do you think, that person has affected me in this way and hurt me in the inside, I'm done, that's it. Reconciliation, friendship, civility is all out the window.
I believe, again, for me, I would have to say no. If I had an ex that abused me, and I've had a couple, I will not talk to them. I will not acknowledge them. I've had more than a handful of people cheat on me. There are a couple to where it was the situation dictated some level of forgiveness, but I would never get back with them. It could never happen because of how them cheating happened. There's no level of trust, which is another big factor involved in it. Is if you lose the trust for the person, then how can you have to reestablish trust in order to, garner forgiveness in that instance.
So, do you think when it comes to forgiveness, do you think there's a timetable?
Yes and no. Yes, because as humans we are limited with our time on this planet. So we may set an internal clock, but as far as like society and like how we view it, forgiveness could take 5 minutes, it could take 5 years, it could take 50 years, but either you do or you don't.
Okay. So I'll bring it over to Ashley there. Same question goes to you.
I'm going to say no across the board for everything. It's really, so when it comes to the whole forgiveness thing, even on a level of, like, because I have been in an abusive relationship, both romantically and not. Like, I've been through that stuff. Emotional, physical, mental. And even though it's just, like, it wasn't traumatizing, there was no abuse. So let's take it to, like, the lowest level. I can forgive, that's fine, but I don't want to pursue anything else. It's just like the damage is there, the damage was done. There's just really, like, I'm no longer choosing to be angry about it. I just don't put any emotion towards it, but it doesn't mean I want to relive anything, doesn't mean I want anything to do with you. Perfect example is, like, kind of like going back to the very first time I did a podcast with you, and that huge anger back when I was a super angry person, and I did that angry rant about someone that you and I have worked with. It's like, it's been like, what, 10 years? And, not 10 years, but close enough. Let's say 6 years. 6, 7 years. I'm not an angry person anymore. It is what it is. Things that happens. If I saw this person, and I actually have seen this person, I saw this person at a theme park, and then we were sitting on the same ride together. Just being civil. It's like, hey, how are you doing? How's the weather? Cool. Have a good day. That's it. Like, that doesn't mean I want to pursue a friendship. I think that door is just closed, and that's okay. Now, going back to, like, the higher level where there was trauma and there was abuse and all that stuff, I don't want to say necessarily, like, forget, oh, I forgive you for, it's just, I don't put any of my time and energy into you. There's so many times that I have bad days when I think about things that have been done to me, and I think, how that wasn't fair. It'd be great if someone could just hug me and say, hey, that was a bad thing that happened to you, and it should have, and I'm sorry. And that's kind of like, I feel like that's all I could really use. But it's like, it is what it is. It happens. If I see you, I don't want to have a conversation with you. If we're, like, out in public or something and I can just simply walk away, that's fine. That's what I'm going to do. I'll be respectful. I'm like, hey, see ya, or nope, bye, depending on who you were and how bad it was. And let's say I'm in the workplace and I can't just simply do that. I would still politely decline to help, and I would go to the back and I would let people know. It's like, hey, this is why I'm not helping this person, and there's nothing you can do in the world to make me change my mind.
Okay. So now my turn. If a friend really affected me and did harmful things to me, really affected me, in this stage of my life, I would forgive them, but I would be indifferent. I wouldn't like them. I wouldn't hate them. I would just be indifferent. If I saw them walking down the street, I would just keep walking. Now, relationship-wise, of course, Dakota, it's happened to everybody. And my reaction to that is, seeing as how this happened to me, and with my 47-year-old eyes and mindset, I understand now that, time is of the essence. We don't have a whole lot of time left on this planet. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to go out for coffee, with the person that's done damage to me and everything of the sort. But I do have some semblance of forgiveness for that person, whether it be physical or mental. I do have some sort of forgiveness, because I'm going to keep hearkening back to some people evolve. Some people change their mind. The person may not be the person that you've known 5, maybe 10 years ago, not even a month ago. The same thing goes for who we are as people. I know Ashley's not the same person that she was 3 years ago, or I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. And it stretches, across the board. So, Dakota, the reason why I asked about does forgiveness have a time limit is how long, or have you held on to that? Have you held on to that, to that albatross of not liking person A, B, and C because of what they've done to you years ago?
It's been, let's see, 2017, 2018, 2019. No, wait, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, because I can't do math, and we're almost to 2024. That is 8 years. I still hold a massive amount of resentment towards that ex after 8 years.
And without getting too deep into it, because this is all just vague kind of questions, but why do you think that is? Was it because of the scenario, or was it because just the person itself?
Both, to be perfectly honest. They essentially tried to ruin my life and then make me move out of state away from my family to do so. They made me change as a person. I didn't see my friends. I didn't want to do the things I used to want to do. They tried to change everything I was and then ship me off to a different state.
So that portion of forgiveness will never happen in your lifetime.
Not for me. No, not for me. I'll be cordial at work, but other than that, I want nothing. I want nothing to do with that person.
Okay, I gotcha. And so I'll bounce it to Ashley once again. Would the forgiveness have a timetable on you? So say, for example, 5 years from now, obviously, you continue to grow as a person. Do you think what's happened to you will still have that same effect on you if that person ever crosses you down the street, or in a voicemail, or in a message?
I don't know. Again, there's just really, like, the things I deal with is I've recognized it's my own emotional and mental trauma that I'm dealing with. It's because I know who I am as a person, and I'm confident in myself to a certain level that if this person or these handful of people walked into my house all of a sudden, like, it's on, like, hands are being thrown, like, I'm ready to square up, like, and I wouldn't say that as in a way that I don't forgive you, but I have no fear of you. Like, there's nothing you can do where I'm not going to go into a PTSD episode seeing this person or these people that have done this stuff in my life. It's very much like indifference. I would probably be irritated because I don't want to talk to you. We have nothing to do with each other. There's no reason for us to communicate. Why are you trying to talk to me? And this stuff happens because of social media. These people can find you on social media, and it's like clockwork. I have handfuls of exes and people I've talked to, like in my older life when I was single and before I was married, that still try to reach out to me to this day. Still ask me, I'm still married. How married am I? And I'm like, why? And I'll block them, and they find a way back again. So I wouldn't say there's necessarily a timetable, because already where I'm at, it is what it is. This stuff happens. I can't change it. I can't control it. What I can control is how I deal with things for myself. And if I do see this person, how will I respond? And I would probably just respond again as indifferent or irritated, just like, hey, just get out of my face. That's it.
Okay. So once again, it all kind of goes back into circle. And I'll ask for your opinion on something, starting with Ashley first. When I went through my traumatic experience in my life, I got two types of answers. One answer was, pretend that person doesn't exist in your life. Like a magician. Poof, they're gone. They never existed. Not the proverbial get over it. Or it happened, is what it is. Just that scenario doesn't exist anymore. That's one. Or the basic get over it, it happened, and move on with life. Now, of course, that's easier said than done. So, I mean, which would work better for you, Ashley? Just forgetting that person in that scenario ever existed, or compartmentalize it and just try to deal with it as life and years go on?
Well, that's what I do now. Is I do that. Well, I don't even say even that. All these things gets locked deep down into a vault, and very rarely do I let this stuff come out. And when it does, like, I just let myself be sad for a few minutes, and then I lock it back up. And the sense of, like, if I had never met them, like, there's like a lot that just happens, and there's a lot of people. I wish I could say, oh, it's only a couple people. There's just a lot of people that did a lot of damage to me. And I'm not saying like, oh, my mental health, my emotional health. No, like physical, all of the above. It wasn't just one or the other. It was like most of these people were like all of the above. And I guess like I hate it. It sucks. But I'm the type of person that's like, I wouldn't go back in time and change anything. I wish I could go back in time and just talk with myself and pretend I'm somebody else and be a support system. But I think if like none of these things happened and never met these people, I would probably be a happy person. I would probably be the person that I wish I was, that I think I almost could have been. I just remember that there was a time in my life that I was like, rainbows, butterflies, positive outlook on everything. Of course, I was a kid, early teenager, even like 18, 19, because I didn't let a lot of the stuff kick in. Because my brain was like, we're keeping all that back there until you get into your 20s. Then we're going to start giving you back these memories. But I used to be really like a nice, sweet person, as much as it's hard for you guys to believe because of my bubbling personality and how I talk. And even for listeners, but I used to be a genuine nice person, and I know you can say that I am a nice person now, but like as in my jokes, my jokes, I can come off as an asshole, I can come off as indifferent, like I don't care if I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings. I was someone that you could probably walk over, and I would continue to let you just get away with it because I'm nice, and forgiveness, and everyone is good at the end of the day, like just what I think is disgusting. So going back to, that if it never happened, I would be a vanilla swirl with sprinkles and gummy bears. And I would probably be that person.
Can't picture you with sprinkles. Really cannot. Dakota, so here's your turn. And we'll put a capper on that, because once again, there's a method to my madness for asking. Would you rather pretend that person doesn't exist anymore? Or would you be the obligatory, man up, forget about it, and just move on kind of person?
I feel like this person comes into Walmart every once in a while, but again, for me, it's out of sight, out of mind. I don't actively seek out to hate them, but when they reappear, it reignites those feelings. So I don't seek out the hatred for people who I'm indifferent to. If they appear, then yes, I feel a certain type of way. But if they're gone, out of sight, out of mind, then they don't take up any space. They don't live rent-free in my mind.
Okay. I mean, I not now, but years ago, when things happen, I just did they don't exist anymore. And easier said than done, of course. If there's any kind of mental anguish that a person puts you through, of course it's going to linger for a while. So it really has to take time and a special kind of talent that I have, I guess, just to have them just not exist anymore. Because I've said it before, I'll say it again, as our memories get longer, our life gets shorter. So we have those decisions to make to whether we invest in forgiving the people that hurt us in our past. Because obviously, a very small percentage of them affects our future. It affects how we see people and how we see relationships and how we see friendships and stuff like that. So as you said, Dakota, letting people live rent-free in our minds because they did damage to us, is one thing, but trying to work towards that forgiveness is another. So which leads me around the block, around the elbow, up the hill both ways, is my question to the both of you is how do you see forgiveness as you get older? So I'll start with Ashley, and then we'll change gears and talk about something else.
Forgiveness, how I see it, it goes to, it is what it is. As I said before, you can't change it. You can't go back in time. It's just really about how you choose to deal with it and deal with that person. Are you going to choose to be angry and emotional every time you see them and basically just let it ruin your day? Are you going to be a nasty person towards them and let that affect how you are with other people? There's just like a whole bunch of different ways to respond to it. And so with forgiveness, there's people that's like, hey, I forgive what you did to me. Let's get back together or let's be friends again. I personally feel like that's kind of stupid. But again, it all depends on the person and what they did. For me, it's just, this is what happened. This is the case. This is how I'm choosing to move on. And it just, again, if it's relationships, if it's friendships, again, it just goes back to it's a case-by-case situation. But the more severe it is, the very unlikely that I would pursue anything with you whatsoever. But I'm not going to let what you did affect me. I could be angry about it for a while. Occasionally, thoughts and feelings can come back up again. But long as I don't let it control my life and control how I am as a person, to me, that's the forgiveness, is you're just letting it go.
Okay, Dakota?
Kind of piggybacking off of what Ash just said. It's I'm sorry that you said some good profound things and that I agree with them, Your Highness.
You should be sorry. Okay. I forgive you. I forgive you.
I accept your forgiveness.
Okay.
All right. Now that I'm thinking about it, actually, that does make a lot of sense that would be considered forgiveness. Letting go is another good way to view it. Yeah. I mean, you could still, hold resentment, but if you forget and just put it out of your mind, then what resentment do you have? Nothing. There's nothing to be mad about. There's nothing to gripe about because you don't remember. Going back to what you said, Adrian, we forget as humans.
Yes, indeed. So for me, and finally put a cap on this wonderful subject, to me, forgiveness starts the second that it happens. So let me expound on that. When someone hurts you or a situation hurts you, it's okay to have that brief moment of pain and anger and wondering why. Because the person or persons that have done you wrong, you saw them in a different light mere seconds ago. And you thought that person that you shared so much with, you'd done so many things with, you could never imagine they did something like that. So I like to remember that particular person or group or persons versus what they are now. And then I forget about the people that they've turned into. Or the people that I thought that they were that, like they were that particular person I thought they were, if that sentence makes any sense. So that's why the best advice that was ever given to me was pretend they don't exist anymore. I could bring up a cavalcade of people that have done me wrong, but I just forget about them because they don't exist to me anymore. And if I did ever run into A, B, C, or D, it's going to be just indifference. Yes, you might want to be my friend, or yes, you may want to be with me again, blah, 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 but it's just indifference. Because once again, we're not going to waste time or energy or pieces of us, to try to put ourselves back together again, because what the previous person done and want to come back in and try to reshape those pieces in their image. So that's where my forgiveness starts. So now that I brought the mood straight on down the toilet, I want to.
Well, hold on. Actually, can I actually ask a question?
Sure.
That's about this. So this is not things that have been happen to ourselves, anything. This is to the people that we care about. It could be best friend, could be parent, could be sibling, something. What your level of forgiveness to someone that's hurt your friend? Either it could be an ex, doesn't matter the context, high level, low level, family member. Just basically, these are people that have hurt someone that you care about, and this could be someone that you could run into, or just any type of situation. What is your level of reaction and your level of forgiveness for these people?
That's a tricky question, and I'll tell you why. There's two different ways of looking at it. I'll use you for an example. You and I are friends, and someone close to you have hurt you. I will have sympathy. I will have empathy. I will feel for you. I want to make sure that you're okay. The person that hurt you, I could do one of two things. I can stick by your side as an adult and say, you hurt my friend, and I don't like you anymore because of what you've done, because of how you affected her. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is, this part I don't agree with. So just bear with me, because this happened to me. I can also say that they hurt you, but they didn't hurt me. So yes, I feel your pain. I see where you're coming from. I feel for you, but your pain isn't my pain. Your pain doesn't affect our friendship. Your pain is with the person that's done you wrong. Damn them for what they've done. And I hope that karma takes control over them, but I'm not going to be mad at them because they didn't affect me. Now, it sounds cold, it sounds callous, and it's happened to me, but stepping back and looking at the two options, it's really hard to make a decision. But being a human being, I will always side with my friend and go, you hurt her, so you need to stay away from me. That's my take on it. Dakota?
I really don't want to self-incriminate right now, because Ashley, you live in Florida, so all I have to do to the person that hurt you is run up to them and say I feel threatened, and then all bets are off after that.
Oh my god. Okay, so I have a feeling, I have a hint of the person that is being conversed about, and that's something we can always address at a different time. But for me, this is kind of, I wish I asked this question where there's Becky here, is there's still a level of forgiveness, and I understand what you're saying, it's not cold or anything, at the end of the day, you didn't do anything to me. This goes back to friend situations that, I have two friends, let's say hypothetically, Adrian and Dakota, the two of you had an argument, and the two of you just don't care to be on the podcast together anymore. You don't really want to talk to each other. But I'm still going to be friends with Dakota, I'm still going to be friends with you, and Adrian, you're like, oh, you really going to keep being friends with Dakota even though he did this? For one, again, it depends on the level. Did he, physically hurt you? Did he, it just depends on the level. But it's hey, you guys just had a disagreement and you guys just don't see eye to eye anymore. We're going to be friends, and that's how it is now. Now, if that thing had escalated and it wasn't just simply a disagreement, then it's that's just not someone I want to be friends with, because if Dakota had done something like that to you, he could do something like that to me. And then there's people that have just fucking hurt people I care about. This is where there's not a matter of forgiveness, because you didn't do anything to me, but you hurt my best friend, a la Becky. There's been people in her life that have really hurt her and bothered her. And I have been on vendettas. I actually keep tabs on some people. I have done things. For legal reasons, I've done absolutely nothing at all. A prime example, and without going into details, is I was in New York. This is not my most recent trip, but my last trip. Becky was graduating college. And at the time, there was a situation going on between her and these people that she used to be friends with. I knew what these people looked like. And so I'm sitting there with her mom in the stadium and watching the whole graduation thing unfold. I just happened to look over and I see them like a couple rows away. I didn't think. I immediately got up, and Becky's mom must have known because I think she noticed where I looked and picked up on it quickly because she grabbed me by my arm and she's like, "Not here." She's like, "Not." So she knew. Her mom just knew immediately. Uh, and then my most recent trip, recalling this memory with Becky, she's like, "Oh yeah, I talked to them, so, and apparently they were booing me when I walked up. I was like, no, like this person was just lying to you because I was sitting right by them. I had them in my sights, and I was prepared to get physical with them without any thought. And if I had heard them booing you, like I would have been arrested." I would have been arrested. It would have been my second run-in with the New York State Police. And so I did that. I said, so this person was talking out their ass because I was right there. And it was your mom holding me back just by them just sitting there and being in the same building as you. So I would try, that was me 7 years ago. My first thought is usually going to be violence, but is it going to be my first act? No. I try to do the mental game and the inconvenience game, and I'm going to make your life a living hell without you actually knowing it was me. So yeah, don't fuck with me. You can fuck with me, but don't fuck with other people that I care about. You can talk shit to me and do whatever you want to me all day. I don't care. The moment you fuck with my people, it's on site.
On site.
All right, Dakota.
What were we talking about? I'm sorry. I was in the vitriol. I was rooting for Ash to beat the hell out of some people.
I wish I could have, man. But then again, I probably wouldn't have the job that I have today if that was on my record. So, but man, that if there's a life regret, could have done that. I should have done it.
So, pretty much the question is, how would you react if someone hurt someone who you care about? Would you step in and say something? Would you hate them back, or would you be indifferent to the whole situation?
I always side with my friends or my family, regardless of the context. I mean, there have been times where I've dived into it and realized that it was not as serious, or it was worse than originally described. And for legal reasons, I have also done nothing to warrant any type of government agency to investigate me. But I side with the people I care about and the people I love. I always have, and I always will, because at the end of the day, that close group knit of people you have is everything. Is everything. You count on them to be there for you, and they count on you to be there for them. So I just not enjoy. I take solace in the fact that I've been there for them. So I hope, I want to say I know, but deep down, I hope that they'll be there for me at the same time when something bad. When I have a disagreement with somebody, and it takes a lot for me to have a legitimate disagreement with somebody. You have to do a lot of very messed up things for me to not like you as a person.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that definitely strengthens the point of it's a really difficult thing. It's a very, very difficult thing, especially the older you get, because it's easier to make that decision when you're young. You back up your best friends, you back up your girlfriend, stuff like that when you're young. But as you get older, you weigh out the pros and cons of sticking up for somebody, because sometimes you may not know the whole story. Or then you may know the whole story, but then, you don't want to be the catalyst for making it worse, just like you said. So, but
Ooh.
yes, you there in the back, yes.
Me, my turn. Yes. Okay. I have a primary example. It doesn't involve violence whatsoever, but it involves me being petty. So, as you know, Adrian and Becky, because you both have given warnings, and Dakota is a person that's actually been warned about this, when you're introducing me is actually be nice. Because I am known to not be a nice person. I can be an asshole and I can joke around stuff, but as in, like, actually, like, gonna make you cry, hurt your feelings, I will do that in a heartbeat, like, no hesitation. And so, this was back a year ago or so. I'm out in Orlando with my friends, and one of them being, Veronica, that Adrian knows. And there's someone that, like, it's a friend. She had loaned them some money, and a good little chunk of change. And this person has not yet paid them back, and it's been quite some time. Not even payments, not even like, just, hey, here's $20 here and there until I get all the money. Nothing. And this person happens to be in the same vicinity that we are. And where we are, there's money. Like, you're spending money. So, like, and she looks at me, she's like, oh, they want to see if they want to meet up to get lunch together. And I look at her. I said, we can, but I'm not going to be nice. Because you know me. I'm like, oh, so you're the person that owes my best friend this money and hasn't done shit to help to pay her back. I would have, and the thing is, she knows that's exactly what I would do. So she made an excuse why we couldn't meet up. And then again, they're in a closer vicinity of us. I was like, I have no problem, but I am not going to be a nice person. Fast forward to, we're now leaving. The person's going to meet up for dinner. And I'm like, we can do that. But again, she's like, can you please? I'm like, no, I will fucking not. If it's been a couple weeks, or if they made any effort to pay you back, by all means, like, I can keep my mouth shut. But this person's literally in this place that we're at, like, clearly spending money and doing shit, and like, they're doing nothing. Like, they haven't done anything. You think I'm gonna keep my mouth fucking shut? Because this friend of mine is the type that's very nice. She will try to avoid hurting people's feelings. She'll sacrifice her own happiness. And I have been trying to train her in the art of, don't give a fuck. Worry about your own happiness first. So I'm the person that she'll give me the phone to send the responses. I am the person where, jokingly, where my friends say, hey, be nice, but at the same time, they're actually meaning, Ashley, please be nice.
Well, can I please just, I'm sorry, Adrian. The entire spiel, not a spiel, but your entire sentence there made me think of one thing and one thing only. And it is a skit from Key and Peele. It is Luther, the anger translator for Barack Obama. You are Luther. You are Luther for your friends.
I am Luther for friends. I literally am. People will give me their phone either to be mean or to sext for them because they don't know what to say. So I am that person. Again, because there's a skit for Matt Rife or whatever his name is. He's like, I don't know how it goes, but he's like, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I fucking will. And that is me hardcore. Is don't push me. Like, you don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you. But you keep fucking around, you're gonna find out.
What I used to do, I used to be a different person a long time ago. I was not a Zen person, a very relaxed person, as person you know now. I used to be a very angry, vindictive person back then. And yeah, if I felt wronged in any way, I would go out of my way to just psychologically just damage people. And I have, and I felt bad about it as the years went on. But I learned a long time ago now that if somebody does me wrong, I just, once again, I forget they exist. I block them on everything. I delete every single stitch about them that ever existed. And Ashley, I told you about one incident, but people who wronged me, I just don't waste time. Because I'll say it once, I'll say it a million times. I'm 47. I really don't have the time or the energy. I would just rather do the childish thing that the kids are doing nowadays and just block you and just forget you ever existed. Anything I have of you, I'll get rid of. Anything on social media, I'll get rid of. And you'll just become back part of the earth. because that's the way that I was treated. So it's only fair I do the exact same thing. And if that person does come back, in my life or something like that, I'll just be indifferent. Of course, I'll say hi and stuff like that, but that particular chapter is done. Just like you said, Ashley, just like you said, Dakota. And it's just, they just vanish. Because why keep remnants? Why, why bring up pieces that will affect you? That's the way I look at it.
I'm coming up to another situation. This is like a family type situation. I have a sibling, and we're actually pretty close. Like, him and I are very, very close with each other. And this was like a few years ago. Oh, more than that. This is actually not too long after my dad had passed away. Just some family drama. Go up there. I got thrown into the drama without wanting to be. And that's always been my rule with the family I have in Georgia is y'all can have drama all day long. I live in a different state, and I'm not involved in any of this. This is your small town bullshit. Keep me out of it. I love to hear about it, but keep me out of it at the same time. Like, I just want to know about it, but I don't want to be in it. So I got pushed into a situation that I was not happy to. And I hate being thrown in front of the bus. Like, prepare me something. Give me a heads up that's more than, oh, this is happening within this hour. Like, okay. So obviously drama went down. Fights were ready to happen between my brothers and myself. All of us were angry with each other for different fucking reasons. But fast forward, I ended up, this was a Memorial Day weekend, and I actually left early. So I was like, I left at 2 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, to drive home and be home at 3 o'clock in the morning, because I was so over this shit. I was like, nah, I'm done. And so, fast forward a little bit, telling the Sid brothers, like, hey, you can come down and visit me, but so-and-so is not allowed to come with you. Like, I don't want this person here until things get figured out and things get resolved. I only want you to come down. I don't want you to bring anybody with you. And this brother, he was obviously drinking, and immediately he started going at me. Like, oh, I thought I was his best friend, that he could rely on me. And then he's thinking that I was the one that was starting shit, and I was saying things, like revealing secrets and stuff. And I said, no, I don't do that. That's not me. Well, how did this person know? You live in a small fucking town, my guy. You sneeze and everyone knows it's going to be on the front page of the newspaper. But he obviously, because he'd been drinking, kept going down this little road. And I kept warning him. I was like, you need to stop. You need to stop now, because you're not going to be able to come back from it. So you need to stop. And this is someone I talk to every single day. Literally every single day. And he did. So I was like, all right. I ignored him for several months. If he sent me a message, I would respond, but it'd be very short responses. That's it. He knew how I was feeling about him. And there's other people that in the family that were aware of this. And they're like, oh, he's this way, he's that way. I'm like, and I guarantee you it's going to be when he's drinking that he's going to try to apologize to me. And we're going to cross that bridge when we get there. But until then, he knows what he did. He knows he's fucked up. And I'm not going to try to talk to him about it. He's going to approach me because he was in the wrong with this. I'm not going to let you talk to me that way and just think, hey, buddy, are you better today? No. So, some months passed, and this is how the sibling and I deal with things. We have to be drinking to talk emotionally. So it's not like me being an asshole, like, oh, I'd wait till he drinks again. It's literally like that's how we handle this type of stuff, is we need to have some kind of influence to open some doors. Obviously, talked about it. And I was like, don't fucking do it again. That was like my clear warning is, this is how I am. This is, like, I would never do shit like that. I don't do things like that. And it actually hurt me that you just could say those things to me and just assume. And yeah, but things are good. This happened like almost 5 years ago. And him and I still talk every day. Like, he's my person. et cetera. But it was another example of don't fuck with me. This is something where it wasn't so severe that I could just let him go, but it wasn't vanilla enough for me to be like, I'm gonna welcome you back with open arms. No, you're gonna work for it.
Now, as we close up this section of the show, Dakota, do you have anything on your mind before we switch gears? Because I have something special for you.
I do not. I do not have anything prodding at my mind.
All right, cool. Very good. I mean, it's a very, very good topic I wanted to bring up because, once again, as we get older, we look back at things and we ask ourselves, do we forgive certain things? Do we forget about certain things? Or we just forget they exist? Because as human beings, we go through so many different emotions. My emotions aren't Ashley's, and your emotions aren't, Dakota's. So I'm just curious to see how certain people handle certain situations. Because once again, if we were in our 20s and our teens, we would quote unquote hate the person, hate the situation, or want to get revenge and stuff like that. But as adults, I would like to believe we're more civil when it comes to situations, because I just would just rather move on and just forget about them, because I'm going to sleep easy at night, knowing I don't have them on my conscience anymore. But Dakota, I have something special for you, and I think Ashley will grin at this also. So, for you, I think this is your first time, so we're gonna have a little fun. And I think, Ashley, we should invite Dakota to play a game. It's a game that we came up with how many years ago?
I couldn't tell you, but I'm excited. I know what you're talking about. I believe I know what you're talking about.
I think you do. So this is a game that we hold near and dear to our heart. It's a game we haven't played in a very, very long time. It's a game that we're going to bring back sporadically because we don't want to kill the gimmick here. The game is called Pick the Porn.
I love this game.
Okay. I think I may have listened in one time when this was being done, but I do not remember participating, so I am ready.
Now, for you new listeners out there, let us get you caught up to speed. Pick the Porn is a game where we're going to give you 3 porn titles, actual porn titles, and 1 fake one. And it's up to you, Dakota, to pick the fake porn title. Now, you can have your lifeline, Ashley, with you just in case. If you get confused, you can reach out to her, and she may give you some hints. But ultimately, it's all you, sir. We have 3 rounds of Pick the Porn. Dakota, are you ready to play?
I am ready. My body is ready.
Now, once again, we're going to give you 3 titles. Pick the fake one. Title number 1, Everyone I Did Last Summer. Number 2, How Stella Got Her Groove Cracked. Number 3, Ace Ventura, Crack Detective. Dakota, I'll give you 20 seconds to even talk to Ashley to figure out which one is a fake porn title.
I'm sorry, he gets 20 seconds. Becky and I always got like fucking 10 seconds.
We'll go on novice level with him.
What was the second one again?
How Stella Got Her Groove Cracked.
Oh my god.
Everyone can play the home game of Pick the Porn, as people are screaming at their phones right now listening to this.
I'm gonna say Ace Ventura.
Okay, now I'm gonna look over at Ashley. Do you think he has the right one? No cheating, no Googling. Just
My hands are right here. I think sorry, I can't even remember the answer, so I have no idea. I'm going to be a terrible lifeline to you because these are things that he's done in the past, but I couldn't tell you if I remember it right or not.
Okay, so is that your final answer? Ace Ventura, Crack Detective.
Ace Ventura, Crack Detective.
Dakota, that is incorrect. That is a real porn title. Ashley, would you like to go for the steal?
Give me. It was Everyone I Did Last Summer, and then how what's her face got her.
How Stella Got Her Groove Cracked.
I really think that's a different one because I've never heard that one before. Uh, I'm gonna go with the first one.
Everyone I did last summer. That is
Yeah.
incorrect. That's an actual porn title. The fake one is How Stella Got Her Groove Cracked, written by myself.
Damn. That was my gut. That was my gut choice, but that's what I get.
Round 2. Dakota, are you ready?
Yes.
Number 1, Ferris Bueller Gets Off. Number 2, Muffy, the Vampire Layer. Number 3, Interview with an Ass Pirate. Which one is the fake porn?
Come
10 seconds on the clock.
I feel like I've seen the Ferris Bueller one, and I'm gonna keep with the trend here. I'm gonna go with the third one.
Interview with an Ass Pirate. Is that your
Yes.
final answer? Now, do you need any assistance from Ashley?
She seems to have her hands full with doggo.
I know. He just jumped up here and
All right, Dakota. Interview with an Ass Pirate. You are correct. That is a fake porn
Yes.
title. Circle gets
Yes.
the square. And now for the final third round of Pick the Porn. Sponsored by the Out of Context Podcast. Search for us under walkerac76.podbean.com. Find us on all the free platforms where you get your podcast from. And also go online to cafepress.com/WACE to get products from the Walker AC Experience, Out of Context t-shirts, Walker AC Experience, everything else in between. The third and final round here. Number 1, get bitches or die trying. Number 2, Raiders of the Lost Arse. Number 3, the porn identity. Dakota, which one is the fake porn?
I remember this one.
Okay. I'd like to use my lifeline
Yep.
and have a.
I don't know.
I have
I
the
had-
dial tone on the lifeline.
Becky's had to suffer. I've had to suffer. We were never given lifelines. You are fucked, sir. I will not give you the same courtesy that Adrian's giving to you.
Okay. Can I get the titles one more time? I'm very sorry.
Yes, it's okay. Number 1, get bitches or die trying. Number 2, Raiders of the Lost Arse. Number 3, the porn identity. Which one is the
Gotta be
fake
2.
porn title?
It's got to be number 2. It's got to be Raiders of the Lost Arse.
For the third and final round, is that your final answer?
Yes.
You are incorrect. Raiders of the Lost Arse is a porn title.
Damn it.
I'll give you a bonus one, seeing how this is the end of the show. I'll give you a bonus.
Okay.
Try one more
No,
time.
let him try but between the two.
Yeah. Get bitches or die trying, or the porn identity.
Porn identity.
You are incorrect. The porn identity is a real porn. Ashley is shaking her head in disbelief and disappointment.
Bitches are dying trying. I can literally see that playing out. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make that.
I just came up with get bitches or die trying.
Damn it.
This has been Pick the Porn, a game we haven't played in quite a long period of time. This will be making a return when you least expect it. Now, as we sign off here, Ashford, where people can find you.
You can find me as Ash Majestics. Honestly, just type it into any social media platform, and if it pulls me up, there you go. If it doesn't, I'm not there.
Dakota, where can people find you if they want to reach out to you and say hi?
So, if you want to find me, you can look up. Hold on, I keep changing the names, so I have to actually physically look at them now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm still waiting. Please, go ahead.
All right, so Coda1996 on YouTube is my YouTube channel. It is also the same for TikTok, I believe. Give me just a second. I'm sorry. Yes, it is also the same on TikTok. You may find my Twitch as well. I may be making a return to that. That is Decooter96 on Twitch, because I am a weirdo with strange nicknames. So don't look for my Twitter or my Reddit. You don't want to go there.
And of course, like I said, you can always find us on any free platform out there. Just Google the Walker AC Experience. Be sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, share, and join us. Now, before we cannot leave this show without something special happening. So, Ashley, go for it.
I have a very important question for you guys. Why are mimes considered the most notorious murderers?
Why?
Pray tell.
Because they do unspeakable things.
Oh my god.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
people.